Sup, nerds, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. We've got some ranches set up, we have a few other things going on, but first of all, we have some skill points to assign out to people. Both Pay and Steve here have a skill point that we can give, and we see that people's morale is doing pretty dang well, so I'm going to go ahead and give Pay, who is our constructor here. I've already got Improved Construction 1, and I could keep going down that line and it would be good, but I'm actually going to give her carrying capacity because just being able to haul more is going to mean that she's able to construct more that way. Steve here, Steve is our rancher, already has maxed out critter ranching. There's not a lot to really give there, so I think also carrying for Steve is a good idea because when they're not ranching, they're going to be hauling some animals. We'll also make sure Steve gets their appropriate hat. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Taking a look around, we are still getting these ranches set up, but we need to make sure that everybody's kind of staying busy. We're starting to fill up our outhouses. It's probably about time that we think about turning this into proper toilets and washing stations and looking for a source of water we can keep tapping. As well, this episode, I would like to get a stable oxygen solution set up. So that's sort of my plan, water and oxygen, and we'll go from there while I'm just kind of finishing out this section right here, getting a little more built out. One thing we can do immediately is get our deodorizer built here. I've mentioned it before that we want to have the deodorizer here to deal with anything coming from the compost. We do have a little bit of carbon buildup coming here, but that should filter out over time and start filling up. Well, we can see it down here is getting very full of carbon dioxide. So when we get a carbon skimmer, that's going to go down there as well. I also need to start thinking about setting up some big water tanks. That's also on the agenda. As I said, food or oxygen and water is the focus on this episode while our ranches spit up to full speed and we keep an eye on our calories. Right now with 4 dupes and 2 that count as an extra half for food consumption, we have enough food for only 3 days at this point. So we definitely need to be making sure we're grabbing muckroot, mealwood, anything that we can get. So gonna clear out a lot of these spaces and just make sure we're grabbing anything we can find, really. There's food around the map still. We're not hurting for that. There's sleet wheat grains that I've seen show up that I think are up here. Other elements that we can grab. So we're not starving yet, but we absolutely need to be finding some permanent solutions to these problems soon. Once the range is spun up, that is our food supply. That will handle that. But we're not there yet. In terms of research, we're finishing up automation right now, and then after that, since we're looking at permanent oxygen solutions, the thing that we're really going to need is the electrolyzer, and then we're also going to need to get the hydrogen fuel power generator. So hydrogen generator. So here, an advanced power regulation. So that's just one branch off where we are, and we're going to get the electrolyzers next. And once we have that, we'll build. It's called a self-powered oxygen mod. I want to say. SPOM is just what the community calls it for short. It's basically going to be a little system that produces oxygen for us and make sure that we are able to keep breathing, and it runs itself. The hydrogen that's broken off of the water fuels the whole process. We are definitely falling behind on keeping jobs going. We're not even powering the oxygen generators just because people have been so busy with everything else. So I think I need to up the priority on this, make sure that we are continuing to have oxygen flowing in the base. And I need to grab another dupe as soon as possible. Just too many jobs, not enough people to keep doing them. The deodorizer does need power, so I'm gonna go ahead and run that through here. See, I can connect that through the floor. I can do that. Uh, we'll just get some tiles in place to try to keep that as clean as possible. Deodorizer does contribute to oxygen production as well, so it's going to be useful there. But really, we just need somebody able to do more. Like, some of this works great. The fact that we're getting so many hatches and that they're laying eggs and everything has been fantastic. We just need to keep up. These guys aren't. Nope, they're not. They are not cramped, so they will be producing eggs at their full speed. Oh no, we have a morb. Oh, we are way behind in tasks if we're getting a morb. Oh, we'll take care of that. Morbs come from filthy outhouses, basically. That's one of the big reasons why you want to keep them clean. So we'll put these on slightly higher priority. God, I'm putting everything on higher priority. I'm doing exactly what I hate doing, but we need to keep these under control. This is a very high priority. This morb needs to be removed from existence as soon as possible. There we go. It's producing polluted oxygen on us, which is not something I want to deal with. Good, we're getting the outhouses cleaned. With the deodorizer up and running, as soon as we get some sand in there, some of this polluted oxygen is going to clear out from the base, and we'll just have to keep an eye out on making sure more sources don't break open with that. Up to about 22,000 calories, which is pretty good while we're still getting more eggs in. Every so often I have to pop in here, open and close that. Oh, new printable. We should be able to get another dupe now. Let's see. What do I want? Immediately I looked over here at Lyra with +4 cuisine, but the problem is Kitchen Menace decrease cuisine and low cooking speed. That's not going to be our cook. So I suppose we'll take Travaldo here, who will, once we start cooking, Travaldo will grow up to be our cook. In the meantime, they're just going to be a general worker, hauler, get things done around the base. So everybody welcome in Travaldo, who immediately comes with a skill point, and that's immediately going to go into carrying capacity. We need them just moving things around the house. Enjoy your little baseball cap. There we go. Travaldo, your job is going to be operating above everything and then supplying, storing. The basic work. I will need more oxygen with 2 people, but I think we've got enough that we can hold out. And we just finished the electrolyzer. So the last piece we needed was the hydrogen pumps or hydrogen generator right here. That should be done within a cycle or so, and then we will be moving on. Oh, that was another hatchling egg, it looked like. Ah, picked up. Perfect. And let that out. Just trying to clear any cracked dirt I see in case we got a muckroot there. We might be able to find some, if we're lucky, we'll be able to maybe get a hatch or 2 out of that, speed up our ranching process. Build a little tile over there to make sure people can access this section. And dig these pieces out. Dupes can jump across gaps 1 tile wide, so it's pretty easy to just pop in and grab some things. Oh, and we did get another hatch down here. Perfect. Wrangle this. Also tempted to start farming sweetles, breaking in, getting some of these spindly grub fruits. I think that is probably a good idea, actually. Let's start heading over there. And we'll build another ranch just to hold sweetles. It's extra food that we can start producing now, so we might as well start producing it. In an emergency, they can be our first little snack. Except I don't want to take out these mealwood because they are producing food at a relatively consistent rate for us. So this will have to be like a smaller ranch by necessity, but we'll make it work. So we'll only have 7 in here instead of the 8 that we have in standard ranches. Once we're through the food crisis, we'll expand this out to be able to have 8. Right, so the last thing we need for a self-powered oxygen module is insulated tiles here, because it will be generating a lot of heat, and that is something to consider. Oxygen doesn't transfer much heat, but long-term base health, adding 70 degree, which is what it will be, oxygen into the base constantly, it might have a few effects. So, like I said, it's just something to consider, to be aware of, to try to tackle. We're still clearing out, still grabbing food anywhere we can, trying to do it in a more steady way. Uh, just having Trivaldo is keeping our tasks much more managed. The shine nymphs up here are fine. They're helping some of these bristle blossoms grow. I'm keeping an eye if I ever need to stop them from being an issue. If they start creeping down into the sleeping areas, that's bad. I don't have a cot for Trivaldo. I'm a terrible person. Stick this out a little more. We can move Lindsay's cot over and build Trivaldo a cot right here. In fact, we'll just build that right now. A night of disturbed sleep is better than a night of sleeping on the. Nope, they're going to have another night of just sleeping on the floor. Sorry, buddy. And just like that, we have our self powered oxygen modulator or module. I'm going to hold off on further research, except for the bathroom. Never mind. We're going to get the bathrooms done. Then that's going to be a pause on our research just so everybody can keep working and keep getting the basics up. I'm expanding out this area and I'm going to turn this into our polluted water tank over here. Uh, with the water flowing down, it just feels like it makes sense to me. And I will also put a carbon skimmer on this shelf right here. So let's go ahead and get some tiles built. And we'll just make this our polluted water tank for now. It's going to be pretty small, but just to keep things contained. And then over here, that will be our carbon skimmer. So oxygen, no. Ventilation? I'll find it. Here we go, carbon skimmer. And this is a pretty simple process, and I will show you how it works in a moment. Next blueprint came up. I don't want any more people at this point. We are really already struggling to keep everyone fed, so we're just going to take the oxalite. 100 kilograms is not going to be a ton of oxygen in the air, but it's going to be enough to keep things going for a bit, and it's something we also don't need to actively harvest or manage, so that is nice. Make sure we're grabbing any meal ice that grows. That's very important. Water tanks coming along, building a little bridge across to make sure people can safely move past it. And then we're going to go ahead and build down here and back up the other side. And this is just to get over to get to the Sweetles in time. While we're building this out, I've also laid out the very simple network for our liquid pumps here. So we're going to, or for our carbon skimmer, we're going to have this liquid pump that pumps water up to the skimmer. Skimmer is going to pull the polluted or the carbon dioxide out of the air, which turns it into polluted water, which will dump right back out here. At least for the short term, that's fine. We're going to have another step, and I'll just use a snipper. We're going to have to build a water sieve, and it's going to be by the bathrooms over here. It's actually something else I forgot that I need to research. That was really stupid of me. The carbon skimmer is immediately getting polluted water pulled up into it and breaking, so we're just going to disable that building for a bit. And we're going to deal with some other things first. Our research finished, so one thing I want to do is get the grill up and running because then we'll be able to make food out of this spindle fruit and any Sweetles past 8, let's say, because Sweetles are just going to fill this up, and then we're going to have to keep their numbers down. I'm not ready for a big Sweetle farm on top of everything else. But getting some more things making eggs sounds pretty good to me. Oxygen has actually not been warning as an issue yet, and I think I still have plenty of algae. If I look in my resources, let's see. I still have almost 42 tons of algae, so we have plenty of air to be made. Just have to stay on top of that. I've been periodically sweeping through here, making sure that we're picking up any eggs we find, and then periodically going in here and just making sure that they're out so that when they hatch, they'll be out here in the open. We have a lot of polluted air here still. That's because of this, and we will get that removed as soon as the proper carbon skinner is up and running. We have another printable. I don't really want any more people. We're struggling with food now. I The flowers, whatever, we're just gonna reject this and let the pod recharge. In the meantime, oxygen levels really are looking better. Just getting those batteries improved. We've got a couple jumbo batteries here now. Really helped. We're running this wire up to the cooking station. We don't have anything that we'd really want to cook except the roast fruit nuts. So when we start getting those in, that'll be good. And we next skill point that Travaldo gets, he will become our chef. Lindsay has another skill point available. Do I want more research right now? I mean, I do. I want it so that when she's researching quickly. And Freya, our digger, yeah, you're also going to get improved carrying. You like that anyway. Improved carrying is just one of the ones that's great to give to everyone in time. Our bathrooms are needing to be handled soon, but I want us to break into this area. And like I said, get those sweetles, get some of the basic materials we need for that. I believe they eat sulfur, so we'll just carve some of that out. And be sure we're giving them some snacks. And we can start enabling auto harvest on all these spindly grub fruits, which will help give us some food. This neutronium means we're at the edge of the map over here. And that is one thing I want to start doing, is sending shoots out. As soon as we poured out this core biome and gotten all the food we can get out of it, I want to start exploring out and seeing what's around here, what other vents and geysers we have around that we can start picking up. We've broken into our Sweetle area here, and we're just going to wrangle all of them up. We've gotten some food into their ranch, and it's going to be the same process as with the hatches. There's 7 of them. That's perfect. That means any eggs they produce, we will be able to potentially turn into food, or we can clear out elders or anything of that like. The spindly grubfruit as well, we can take those and turn that into food for us. Don't think there's a ton of other food just floating around in those areas. We might have to start poking at the pacus, the little fish, and eat them, or figuring something else out, because we're down to 10,000 calories. We've been hovering right around there even as we've been expanding out. Food is becoming an issue, and the first hatches haven't hatched yet. Now we have a lot of seeds. Or seeds, eggs. I guess eggs are just creature seeds, but feels weird to call them that. These guys are cramped. Why are they cramped? There's an egg hiding back there, isn't there? Okay. I just saw someone pick up and eat meat. I need to make sure that nobody is allowed to eat meat at all. Can I just... No. So let's go through here and turn that off, because meat is only valuable when it's been turned into barbecue. Or, well, it's much more valuable when it is. I think we got it just off of a Sweetle that we brought up here that immediately moved on to the future. And we just need to keep an eye on that. Sweetles do have food, that's good. We are still living off of meal lice and so on, but we have 1 day's left of food at the moment. Tomorrow is a desperate search for more muckroot. And we need to start squeezing every calorie we can out of whatever we can. Travaldo has leveled, which is perfect timing. Travaldo is going to become our cook. We're going to make roast grubfruit, nut, and barbecue forever. Any that's here, this is highest priority. We need calories. Travaldo, your priorities, let me look at them. Yeah, you are our hauler, but cooking needs to be more important than that. And off they go. We're still sitting at more than a day's worth of food. We are starting to core out areas down here. We have found some more hatches as well, which is nice because it speeds up all this. And soon our first one should be legitimately hatching out of here. Hoping any moment now. All this yucky air. We do have this set up now. So let me go ahead and finish getting this working. If we take a look at this, we have power running up there, and the polluted water's going to come up out of here. Green is the output. YC input, I am absolutely going to mix this up at some point and put those the wrong way around. It's just life in this game. Everyone does it. Then it comes out of the sieve, runs down here, goes out the output. Um, that should keep us from this issue we've been having of this pump drawing up too much polluted water. We might take a little damage on the skimmer when we first activate it because of these little blobs of polluted water right here, but they'll be sent through and cleaned up, and then this will no longer be a problem. Maybe it would have been smarter to route it through the sieve before putting it through the skimmer. I No, because then we'd just be leaving polluted water sitting in the tank, and that's not really what I want to be doing. I did say this was going to be a polluted water tank. I've changed my mind. That's just a water tank now. Bathroom has been put on hold because we're trying to get food. That's the truth of that. We also need to get this cot out here still. Poor Travaldo has not been sleeping well at all, I think. Status, yeah, dead, tired, snoring friend. It's been hurting their morale, but I think overall their morale has been pretty good. Yeah, nobody has any stress whatsoever. Somehow. I'm the only one with stress here. So we'll assign this to Lindsay, right? Yeah, Lindsay, our snorer, and we can try to move this around. It's not really necessary at the moment. Make sure that's still good. Good, that's still a barracks, and this is a great hall. New printables, pike apple bush seeds. I'm not actually sure what pike apples are, so we'll grab those. I think they will become food in time. Let's see. Yeah, it's an edible plant, but since we don't have any way to just plant those at the moment, we're just going to keep them for the future. It's better than nothing. Planting would break the locavore achievement that we're going for. We are out of food. Watching it right now, if it's starting to come to the end of the cycle and we're still out of food, then the only option is to do some culling. We can take a look to see if any of our hatches are elderly. If they are, that means they're not producing any more eggs and they can go. Or we can start looking into killing other things that might be around. Trying very hard to keep on top of the food, but 5 duplicants that eat like 6 is a bit much, unfortunately. Earned another achievement just for eating some food that was actually cooked. That's going to be the spindle grubs. We do have a case of food poisoning here. Freya somehow got it. I'm not sure exactly how. Ah, just from a muckroot. Yeah, that is a risk. If we take a look at, let's see, which one is the? Here we go. We can see that there are germs. Once we get proper bathrooms, that should minimize it. But we've actually kept the base pretty clean, partially because we haven't broken into this area. With all the polluted oxygen we're dealing with, breaking into the swamp biome is incredibly dangerous if we're trying to keep germs out. I would say, ask me how I've learned this, but you all know how I've learned this. Made it through another day, still pushing on, just waiting on our first hatches to really hatch out. Got a lot that are at, it looks like 69, 98%. That's our best. So over the next couple cycles, we'll be filling these up fully. And from that point on, we will have our true cycle of, well, keeping everything going. We do want to, even though we're not going to be incubating, we do want to make a few incubators, but I will worry about that once we're not scrounging for every little bit of food that we can get. And here we go. Our first hatch has hatched. Our first hatchling. So we will get that wrangled and in. We should be filling these up pretty quickly now. And we are already at probably enough hatches that we could feed these people, but of course we want more, and we're finding more down here still. So that is also excellent news. Just trying to keep an eye out for any sneaking around, any hidden around that we can get. I think we're pretty much cored out of our main base, though. Kind of hitting the end of the biome here. Over here, there's quite a bit of potential for more actually. And I see more muckroots, so we're We're not done yet. We are not done yet. Well, we're in a rough position. We have we are getting our hatches up very, very, very quickly. But we have 88 calories stored, which isn't even really a snack. So what I need to do is see if I can find any elderly creatures and take those out first. But I don't. I mean, there's some that are 89, so on. I think what we do is we take out maybe a Sweetle or two. They age faster. Try to get one that has just reproduced, ideally. One that's a little older. I think this is our best bet, and we just take that out. And let's get two of them. This one's got one egg left and it's at 8%, so not yet, but this one's only 8. I hate doing it. But we've got a few eggs to replace it. Once we have that, we'll get a little barbecue. That should last us another day or two. Get our calories up to the point we need it to be. We're getting close to having all of our food from sustainable sources. We are getting close to having cored out the whole base here. We are finding more muckroot as well, even now. Printables, please be food. Nope. I don't want anyone. Reject this. But, it's obviously still touch and go for a little bit. I knew this was coming. I planned for this. It's why we've been doing so much digging in our main base. I don't want that piece dug out, though. That'll flood all this down here with water. Just trying to find any piece of edible material we can. Why are you idle? Oh. Really? That piece of ladder not being there was messing everyone up? You can't hop over that? Idle is absolutely unacceptable. Oh, are you not able to make it out of here? Is that maybe what's going on? There they go. Duplicates sealing themselves off. That is just life. There is some refined iron down here, which I would love to get. And we do have potentially our first volcano, it looks like right here. We're also starting to see the magma biome, which is fantastic for a number of reasons, though we don't want to tap into it just yet. Ooh, there's spindle fruit over here we could get. Anything else obvious I'm missing? Yeah, some more area up here I can be exploring. A few cracks in here, maybe we can find some hatches or sweetles or something. But we have enough calories to make it through the rest of this day and to start working into the next. And there's spindle fruit up there. That's food. That's food we can grab. Taking a look at our progress, Locavore's already almost halfway done, which is fantastic. We're only on cycle 35, and once that one's done, we can go ahead and actually start planting farms to help ease some things. We are only 5,600 into carnivore, so even though we can plant things, it's not going to help that much, but it will help with a few things like getting Dreco's setups to produce plastic and things like that. We've expanded some more out here, and I did find, well, another food source right here. Sorry, you three. You know it's coming. Which should get us through this pinch to be able to get to where we need in order to have, well, no food issues anymore. We are definitely doing well, though, in terms of food. Or in terms of hatching eggs. Like, we're going to get a few more hatchlings today, and I think we're at something like, see, 5, 8, 3. So we're at 16 of the hatches. We're 2/3 through our hatch supply. And once we have the 24 set up, we'll let that run a little bit, get some meat production really going, and we will go ahead and swap off of that and into, or not swap off that, we're going to swap everyone into eating a pure meat diet. There's muckroots right down here that I had missed. Like right in this area right here. 3 more hatchlings have hatched. So we are now up to 19 out of the 24 we need. Another day or two and this should be completely ready to go. Then we automate the production. I'll show how that works, and we will have ranching done as much as possible. And we can start working on some other projects aside from just, not starving. Hey, you two, glad we found you. You three, glad we found you. Uh, Come with us. We're going to show you our lovely farm. Right in this way. We'll just sweep you up in our guns and everything will be fine. I guess I'm taking dirt. Like, I can't bring more people in yet. We're close once these ranches are fully up and we're able to turn eggs into food. We'll be there, but we are not there yet. We're already up to 11,000 calories thanks to some judicious decisions made about Sweetles recently. I mean, we are hatching more. We're keeping the Sweetle population up. It's just a matter of we don't have a choice. I found an elderly Sweetle. I don't, let's see, 22% per cycle. It has 5 cycles left. Okay, it will be able to get one more out, but it's nearing the end of its life. So if we have to pick one to end, that is the one. We shouldn't have to, though, because we are sitting on a lot of hatchling eggs that are doing pretty well. Have a couple that are about to hatch and fill up the rest of this. And then I will go ahead and automate our food production from there. We have about 3 cycles worth of food, so might even start on that now if we have the research to do it. I'm not sure we do. Went ahead and started on the research chain, but I think that's going to be for next episode. We have these ranches nearly full. We have a couple days worth of food. This was, oh, we have a little baby hatchling over here too. This was an episode all about, oh no, did I just say to sweep all those eggs? Let's just cancel anything that's on them. This was an episode a lot about just squeezing every last bit of food value out of the area we could. As soon as we start having creatures age out and die naturally, that's not something we really have to be concerning ourselves with anymore. In fact, we just saw a lot of barbecue in there, which that was probably from our interactions with the Sweetles over there now that I think about it. But we are really hitting a point of just kind of being okay with where things are. So I think we're sustainable on that front. Oxygen is the next one to tackle. These have been handling everything pretty well now that we have some actual energy storage going on, and Travaldo has been working on that. But it's time to move on to something better. It's time to have a solution that doesn't require a lot of duplicate labor. We can actually clear all this out as well. Let's try to get every last little calorie we can. But yeah, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and have a great rest of your day.